trick or treat. We all love Halloween, right? But what about the darker side of it? What about ghosts? Ghosts and spirits and entities have always interested me because I've played the Ouija board. I've watched a bunch of scary movies. And do you ever have that feeling when you walk into a room and there's just like an unsettling feeling and you feel like something is watching you but nothing is there? I get that a lot. So, I've done some research, and throughout my research, I found that there is a high chance that ghosts or other entities or spirits are real. So first we're going to go through the history, the explanations, and the hauntings. So first, to start off with history. During near-death experience, consciousness throughout the patient's body can outlive the body while it's breaking down. Throughout the thousands of cases that have been reported of near-death experiences, none of the patients have been reported coming back with information that they didn't already know. Psychiatrist and professor of the University of West Virginia has studied cases of children recalling memories and events from their past life. Most of the patients he studied were from India. The culture there believes in reincarnation, which would explain why the children have their unique recalls of their previous life. Modern physics shows that there is another known matter such that us as humans are not familiar with, such as dark matter. Although it has not been proved yet, there are possible candidates for proving it. Believing in ghosts is not uncommon. In 2013, a Harris poll over Americans found that 43% of the population believes in ghosts. The idea of ghosts even showed up in the Bible and Macbeth, which was thousands of years ago. Whether through a spiritual ceremony or just through a game such as the Ouija board, many people have been trying to communicate with ghosts for forever. Many experiences of encountering a ghost are reported as a door closing on its own, missing keys, lights turning off or on by themselves, cold areas in a hallway, or even a vision of a dead relative. However, since most of those encounters can't be explained, they are considered extraordinary and mysterious events. Ghost stories have been around since ancient times, and they were usually involving a historical figure, and most of the stories were made up by people who had a mysterious, violent death. Places are haunted usually by an event that was traumatizing to the person who passed away, near or on the location of the haunting. Hauntings can range from a multiple amount of things such as strange noises, lights, odors, breezes, the displacement of objects, bells ringing simultaneously, or musical instruments being heard but aren't seen. Some American sightings of historical figures include Abraham Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin at the White House. That's all for the history, and now that leads us into the explanations. So, as humans, we have a sixth sense, but it's not like proven, I guess. But we just don't trust ourselves enough. So, as dogs, so like us, dogs have a sixth sense too, but like I said, we deny the feeling of something extra that is not ordinarily felt. Dogs, however, feel a barometric pressure change and react to it by shaking, panting, or you know how dogs freak out. They can hear things that we can't. They can detect diseases in us. They can see things that we can't. Sometimes dogs can sense when a natural disaster will occur, and dogs are able to feel a presence humans can't see. Ghosts are commonly known as the spirit of a person who has passed and can make themselves be seen. Ghosts can be seen, they can talk, change the temperature in a room, or even cause a specific smell to arise. Ghosts do not harm humans. Poltergeists are a type of entity that can make noise, move objects, and disrupt our physical environment. They usually follow a person who is normally sad or depressed, and they feed off of their sad emotions or energy. Poltergeists can be harmful, but unlike ghosts who stay in a certain location, they follow the person who is easy to feed off energy of. Demons are known as an evil spirit or a devil possessing a person or acting as a tormentor from hell. Demons have similarities with ghosts and poltergeists, but they're still much different. Like ghosts, they can make themselves seen. Also, like poltergeists, they can make things move. The difference between them is that a demon will possess a person to make itself seen, will make a person seem that they are evil. A demonic possession client were able to tell people that they didn't know their secret weakness. She could tell how people she did not know died, and it was confirmed that during her exorcism she was speaking multiple languages which she did not know. A possessed person will normally speak for the thing they are being possessed by. They might speak in a language that they do not know or say information that they didn't know before. In special cases, there has even in many cases, people who have claimed to have heard a demon speaking to them have a medical disorder, so most of them have an explanation to why the strange things go on in their head. As of today, we still do not have information to back up why people talk in a language they have never spoke or studied before. No extra information they did not know before, or gain strength that they did not originally have. Next, that leads us into hauntings. The Sallie House lies in Atchison, Kansas, and became haunted in the early 1900s. So, the Sallie House was first owned by a doctor, and his stuff was based in his house. He did everything in his house, his surgeries, his checkups, everything. And one day he got a 6-year-old come in, and she was very sick, and he decided if he did not do surgery on her, she was going to die. So he had to do surgery on her, and he didn't have a way to put her to sleep. And when she saw the tools, she started freaking out. So he strapped her down to the table, and due to complications during the surgery, she died. And people say that since her last memories were of a man strapping her down and basically torturing her, that's what she would have thought, then she haunts that house. And it's still haunted to this day, and you can go in, and it's like a museum type thing where thrill seekers go. So, like I said, that's in Atchison, Kansas, but that's not the only haunted place in Kansas. Other haunted places in Kansas are Molly's Hollow, Fort Leavenworth National Cemetery, Hutchison Library, Stoll Cemetery, Old Abilene Town, and Beaumont Hotel. The most interesting one to me is the Stoll Cemetery, which is associated with witches and cults. It's said that the cults or witches use the old church to do their dark rituals in. So now we're gonna stop with locations, and we're just gonna move on to a ship that was built in the 1900s. So in 1939, when World War II was happening, the ship was named the Grey Ghost and was used for a transport ship for Allied soldiers. During the war, the ship had carried over 800,000 soldiers, along with 10,000 soldiers she had collided with on her escort. Queen Mary was forced to leave with 239 crew members due to an enemy nearby. The ship then sunk with all the current crew on board and was not retrieved until 1967. In the boiling room, a boy can be heard screaming. A little girl plays hide-and-seek in the empty swimming pool. Also, there have been reports of people seeing a woman dressed in all white dancing. Now the ship is made into a museum/hotel where you can go and ghost hunt, basically. And, so, yeah. So, in conclusion, my speech was about Are Ghosts Real? And first we went over the history, the explanations, and the hauntings. So, in conclusion, from the research, whether the outcome is positive or negative, there are other entities out there. So that's my speech, and thank you for listening.